welcome to the show. Also today off of Steve Harvey's lovely mistake with Miss Universe. We're talking who has been wrongly crowned in the past in New York sports. But our first daily headline is what everybody's talking about. It has gone to Odell. Odell Beckham suspended by the NFL for one game in the wake of his 3 unnecessary roughness penalties in yesterday's loss to the Panthers. Of course, the most flagrant, the helmet-to-helmet hit to Josh Norman. Ralph, you cover this team on a day-in, day-out basis. We'll ask you, was the league right to suspend Beckham?
The league was absolutely right to suspend Beckham. They've done the Giants' job for them because the Giants should have pulled him out of that game, at least for a series, something to calm him down, because his on-field actions were absolutely atrocious. I mean, he spent most of that game throwing punches at Josh Norman, and I know Josh Norman was no saint, but Beckham went over the line, and once he launched himself head first at Josh Norman's head, well, it was a guarantee he was going to get suspended, because the NFL doesn't joke around when it comes to that.
He has been out of control for a long time. Tom Coughlin should have done something about this a year ago, or the Giants, Jerry Reese, whatever. They never stopped it because he's such a great player at times on the football field. Yesterday, he drops a wide-open touchdown that has to let everybody know that it was on him, as if we didn't know watching the game that he was, in fact, the one who made the mistake. And then he goes out there and is acting ridiculous, trying to hurt Josh Norman. It was clear that that one hit in particular was intent to injure. He should be suspended. And honestly, he's lucky he didn't get kicked out of the game, and he's lucky it's only a one-game suspension, because that's unacceptable. You can't have stuff like that. I'm glad the NFL
I agree with everything you guys said, but putting it in a larger perspective here, what about Tom Coughlin? What about the entire organization? This is an organization that's always prided itself on class, dignity. Coughlin, the disciplinarian coming in here, you can remember him screaming at guys for lesser things coming off the field.
And we'll get to the Coughlin end of this coming up later in the show. But, you know, it's interesting, Bob, in the sense of, I think if this happened, teams are just going to do this more and more to Odell Beckham. You mentioned to me earlier about the Rams, who did this last year. If he doesn't get under control, the next team is going to do the same thing to him.
This was a topic after the Rams game, probably before that. It was a topic in the summer when the Jaguars did it in a preseason game. It's been a topic throughout Odell Beckham's career. He is a bit of a hothead on the field. A lot of teams know it. They will try to get under his skin. Most of the time, it doesn't matter, because he's still going to get 7 catches for 170 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He didn't in this game, and he went way over the line. Anything he's done, he's been fined 3 times before. He had never gone this far. It was constant. It was throughout the game, and yeah, it was provoked at the very beginning, but not later.
But this is not something that all of a sudden just happened, as you mentioned, Ralph.
It's been building to it.
It's been building, and it's because nobody nipped it in the bud back then. If we can see it being a problem, how come they let it get to the point where it's out of
control? Because he was great.
Well, yeah, how can you know, the media glorify this guy for making a one-hand catch in a game they lost? That thing went viral all over the place. He was built up, put on a pedestal. He's never won a damn thing, and this is what happens.
Well, but you know what, Bob? I mean, Lawrence Taylor did a lot of things there. They were off the field. We all glorified him. I mean,
yeah, but he never
glorify all these guys.
Well, he never did anything on the field
that's to
embarrass the Giants. Off the field, he did. On the field, he was all business.
And the bottom line is, until proven otherwise, I don't care what anybody else says, Odell Beckham Jr. is a losing football player. Bad attitude, selfish, and a loser, because that's all the Giants have done is lose games. I don't care about his one-handed
but not because of him.
Hey, you know what? He's on the team, and he's a focal. He dropped that touchdown yesterday.
And Ralph, it's almost sometimes I feel like before yesterday, they got a pass in the media a lot of times because of him, because he took the focus off the losing.
I think they probably did. I mean, he was the only good thing about the Giants for a long period of time, which is one of the reasons why Coughlin resisted pulling him out of that game.